Hello, hello. Welcome back. We're still here at Warpstorm Gaming and Lounge. I'm Pop Samurai, your boy, Jelani here. And who's with me here today?
My name is Quinn. I'm one of the five owners of Warpstorm Games and Lounge.
Yes, thank you so much for joining me here, Quinn.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations. Big day. It's the grand opening. I know you guys have had the soft opening a little bit, getting everything ready for the since you decided to go into this venture of doing the Warpstorm Games and Lounge. I guess yeah. Let's hop into. How are you feeling right now? Now that we're fully here, new year, new you. What's going
Uh,
on?
so this is gonna sound strange.
Yeah,
Uh, it's one of the it's one of the best days of my life. It's one of the happiest days of my
yeah.
life. But there were things that I wanted to have done by today that weren't.
Oh no.
So it's like I can't be the level of excited I initially thought I wanted to be.
Hmm.
But it's like that definitely does not diminish any of the happiness I'm feeling at the moment. So it's
Yeah.
like the fact that we have a store full of people that are excited for every aspect of the things we carry in the store. That was the whole goal. So it's like we don't have the things I wanted done, but it didn't matter because we're still full for everything. So
Yeah.
it's like cool, we did it with less. So if anything, that's more of an accomplishment, and I just have to remember that, so that way I'm not just like too critical on myself or us as a whole.
Yeah, I gotta say, I know that maybe we're not exactly what everything that you had wanted, but I mean, I gotta say, this is amazing. This is looks everything looks great. Everything is good. The the tournaments you got going on here, people being excited about it, and
Oh yeah.
the buzz about the store.
Yep.
I gotta say, it is an accomplishment, and all much praise to you for from us over here. um, right now you got Warhammer stuff going on. You got a tournament going on
Yep.
for the grand opening.
Yeah.
What is that looking like for the that's going on here?
So what we're playing is we're playing Warhammer 40,000.
Hmm.
Warhammer, quick description, is the mother brand of a game, and then there's a bunch of different like offspring.
Yeah.
40K being one of the offspring. It's a sci-fi base game. You're playing in the year 40,000 as different races and factions across whatever universe that lore is. So it's really cool. What we're doing here is a doubles tournament. So it's 2v2s,
Yeah.
and we had six tabletop tables. So I had come up with the idea of just saying, hey, let's do a grand open doubles event since we were doing different events throughout the week, and I thought that this would allow the most people to utilize the space. Because normally you're just playing 1v1, so there'd only be 12 people. With doubles, now we're at 24,
Yeah.
and people they get to meet and greet. They get to just like see armies they might not normally see strategies they might not normally see. So it was like, you know what? These are the people that we want in our community. Why not have them in and give them a reason to be in on the day we wanted to open?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's looking great. I mean, people are having fun
Oh yeah.
out there, bringing their armies. I know. I was here for when you were setting it all up. It
Yep.
was and the cheers and the ready to go
Oh yeah.
ness of everybody was palpable. I would say. So like Warhammer 40K and of course Warhammer Age of Sigmar that you guys that they play here in the store.
Yeah.
What kind of events can people look forward to here at Warpstorm for like the Warhammer like community?
So we have a range of events all the way from weekly casual play up to competitive play. So I would start with every week we have Saturday 40K days, Sunday Age of Sigmar days. So if people
Awesome.
are just wanting like a place to play and are free on those days, boom, that's where you have it.
Nice.
And then February of this year, we launched our first ever tournament series, which was one event a month, leading up to our invitational only championship earlier this month in December. Uh,
Nice.
so I'm a former competitive Magic player, so I kind of structured things around types of tournaments that I had been to that I were like, these were really well done. I could probably just kind of port over the same idea and put Warhammer on it. So that's
Nice.
kind of what we did, where we started with February we had a small 16-person tournament, and that was our first one, and it filled up real quick. And we
Yeah.
had more people saying, "Hey, is there any way you could make it bigger? More of us want to fit in." And we were like, the space we were in, it was hard to accommodate that in like the room size that we had, but we were able to make 16 into 20 player
Yeah.
events. And then 20 became our standard because we were like, okay, this is doable.
Yeah.
And the demand was there. So we were like, this is great. So we were well met because that type of scene isn't in the general area. That's not a thing that Warhammer itself is seen in like this Southwest Wisconsin, let alone most of the Midwest. So it was really cool to be one of the pioneers trying to jumpstart that idea.
Yeah.
And then we ended up landing our first convention tournament April of this past year at Midwest Gaming Classic, which is downtown Milwaukee every year in April. And we ended up running a 32-person tournament. So it was like, that's only a 12-person jump, but when you go from a 2-month, a first month 16, a second month 20, and now third month is 32.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see the growth.
Yeah, the growth there,
Yep.
amazing.
Yeah. So then every month we just kept doing 20 player. And then June we got another convention gig at Nexus Gaming Fair that's in Brookfield. That one we had another 32. And it was like, cool. And it's we could have had more, but we capped ourselves at 32 because since this being our first year, our whole goal was to not run a bad experienced event. It doesn't have to be a great experience. We just didn't want a bad experience.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of how you build, right?
Yeah.
So we wanted to set, caps for ourselves because if we opened up the floodgates, maybe there's a world where we have like 50 people, 60 people, and it's like, one, we don't know if we can accommodate it. I don't know if we have enough staff to like run something proper like that. So it's like, let's not push it. Let's ride out this first year. And the first year went fantastic. And we had our invitational. It was a $4,000 tournament. So the people that won each of the events throughout the year got a free invite to the invitational. That gave out 13 invites. We wanted to do a top 32, so we did the remaining 19 as point earners throughout the tournament. So the more tournaments you played in, the more points you accrue. If you had the most points, you got dibs on the remaining slots.
Amazing.
So it gives people a reason to keep playing even if they don't win. Because it's like, hey man, maybe I don't get in by winning because I don't feel that confident in myself. But if I keep going and playing, I'll keep getting in more reps. I'll keep getting better. And then I'll have at least accrued the points that...
How much time left?
Let me check. 4 minutes.
Tournament is happening live over here, everybody. If anybody
Yeah,
know.
sorry about that.
No, it's all right.
Round 1 is about to come to a close.
Nice.
Yeah, but we had our first tournament series, and again, well met. A lot of the players that are here played in that event. So to give you an idea, it's like these are people that at least won some form of event or played in several events to get in. So it's
Amazing.
Even though this is a casual event, these people are pretty good.
Yeah, almost like a tournament of champions.
Yeah, almost like tournament champions. So
Nice,
it's
amazing. I love to hear the kind of like the way that you built this. The kind of you set a standard, right? It's like we don't want to run a bad event. We want to run a good event, right? And we can go from there, you know? And so setting a standard for yourself and building from there, building a strong foundation, basically. And I'm glad to see the growth. I'm glad to hear about that. That's really cool.
Thank you.
Jesus. Sorry. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that the growth is so strong here and the excitement from the players. I mean, obviously, live Warhammer tournament going on right behind you.
Yep, right behind you.
Going on right now. This like tournaments like this one, the doubles one that you got going on today. This is going all day today, correct, for the grand opening, right?
Yeah. So there's 3 rounds, 2 hours and 45 minutes each round. So it's like that covers almost 8 hours of the day. So these players will be here all day. Even if there's only one winner, and that person's going to be 3-0. They'll have won all 3 rounds. But by the end of this, there will probably be 2 3-0s. So it's while you're playing, you accrue points in the game. The tiebreaker is whichever team scored more points, and then we're giving out $400 worth of prize support for this event to that winning team. But it's most of the people are just here to play. So even if they lose, they're just going to play each round, and then they're just hanging out. They're having fun until they decide to leave because maybe they got some New Year stuff to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, it's great that they get to enjoy, this game. For you, I mean, are you? I know you said you were Magic Gathering tournament player at one point. How deep are you into the Warhammer gaming?
How
side
lewd can I be on this podcast?
Go as lewd as you want.
I am balls deep.
Yeah.
So our previous location that we had opened up in 2020, February of 21. Some of what are now our regulars started coming into the store because they were like, hey, we're looking for a place to play this game.
Yeah.
And I was like, by all means. And
Go
it's like,
ahead.
I didn't have any tabletop tables at the time, so I was just taking like our normal 6-foot folding tables and just sliding 2 of them together. We'd masking tape out whatever they needed. I didn't have table mats. They just kind of put plastic minis on a table.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what they were doing from there. But there was one day in particular where 2 of my regulars, Greg and Adrian, were playing each other. And there was a little crowd around them of 6 people. And then all of a sudden, everybody just goes ape shit and starts yelling. And I'm like, I don't know what happened. All I know is I would love to be involved in whatever made you do that. Because...
And Ryan's gone.
Okay. What do you mean Ryan's gone? Oh, that's fine.
There gonna be an alarm that goes off?
Oh, I mean, I can walk over there or ask. Give me one.
Sure. I'll keep everybody busy on the stream. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Pop Sam right here. Live tournaments happening right now. We were getting deep in the
Flying by the
conversation.
seat of our pants.
We were
today.
getting the origin of Quinn's Warhammer love.
Oh, his origin story?
Yeah.
He's got a good origin story.
Yeah, I would love to hear more about it. But Antonio, what are your feelings right now? We're halfway through the day.
I mean, I'm elated, man. I always wanted to start my own business. I've, done little things here and there where I've been working for myself on the side. I've had side hustles, but this was a big dream. And so today when we were doing the ribbon cutting, I got to cut the ribbon to my store, and it's really it's a really beautiful moment for me.
Yeah.
This is it feels like the culmination of a lot of dreams. It's a game store. Literally I come to work and I play Warhammer, I play Magic, and I play Dungeons and Dragons. We're sitting in my Dungeons and Dragons room, And so this is a lot of a dream come true. I feel like if I sit with it for any amount of time, I'll start bawling, So I'm not really I'm compartmentalizing quite a bit.
Yeah.
But this has been quite the experience, man. And I'm super lucky to have all the business partners that I have, and to have the ones that I have is really, it's a beautiful thing. All of these people are serious guys and a serious girl, and they're about their business in a way that I really appreciate. They're capable. They're trustworthy, and I really do love that about them. So this has been a blast, and it's the first day. We've been soft open for a bit.
Day one.
So but this is day one of the actual full opening. Everything's ready to go. We're happy to see what this turns into. So yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm happy.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously a little anxious. Obviously a little nervous, but it's a big business. So who wouldn't be?
Yeah. Well, since Quinn's busy getting set up between the rounds right here.
Yeah.
For you, can you talk a little bit about the Warhammer scene that's happening here at the store? What have we got going on?
Warhammer is kind of the Warpstorm is a thing from Warhammer.
Yeah.
So even though we do a lot of Magic and even though we do a lot of D&D and really all tabletop games, the entire store is tabletop focused. Warhammer is kind of the biggest one. It's where we got our name from. It's kind of how we all met. The reason I know these guys is because I was running the Warhammer store, and that's kind of how I got to meet other owners and stuff. And so right now we're having a doubles tournament, and there are 24 players out there, each trying to get their hands at a Battle Force box, which is like a half an army pretty much in one box. So it's pretty cool. Like some of the best competitors in the local scene are here, and that's a pleasure to see. Like all 6 of our tables are full, and so like that's really impressive for us, and we love it. Okay, here's Quinn again.
Quinn's back.
Oh, it's too warm. Oh, damn it.
All right, we were talking about your kind of Warpstorm, not Warpstorm, your Warhammer like origin story about you getting into it.
Yeah.
So you saw the group of friends.
Yeah, they went crazy over something, and they explained to me what happened, and I have a pretty good graphic imagination, so it's like I just kind of when I see games like these, I think, okay, sci-fi. I've seen sci-fi movies. It's a space marine. I'm like, okay, I see the model. I can picture that, and as I'm watching a movie. So I kind of played out in my head what happened, and I was like, that sounds like it would look pretty dope. And then I was like, all right, what should I buy? I don't know what I'm doing. Somebody start me off, and they're like, well, you picked a good time to get in. It was the beginning of a brand new edition. It had just became 9th edition. So it's like the game's been around for like 30 years, right? And it's like 12 people have heard of it. Oh, Brian. Okay.
Yeah.
So I went on a couple of the Facebook buy-sell trade pages for Warhammer, and I was like, all right, let me just look for a deal. And I saw a guy selling what sounded like a lot of models for about $1,200, and I was like, well, from a Magic player standpoint, $1,200 is not a lot of money. From a arbitrary getting into a hobby, $1,200 is a lot of money. And I was like, am I willing to pull this trigger on this game I've not played? Yeah, I'm all about impulse. So I pull the trigger. And it turns out that the stuff that I got was actually about $8,000 worth of MSRP for $1,200.
Amazing.
And I was like when people were telling me these things, I didn't know what anything was. So some of the regulars were helping me sort everything and being like, this is this. And I would rip up sheets of paper, write down the name of the unit, put it by the models. So that way, when I'm looking through the codex and I'm reading something, I'm like, okay, it says this guy does this. Who is this guy? And I would look for the sheet of paper and be like, oh, I have him. And then I can look at the mini, look at the thing, and then I start to be able to associate. You can go give it to Alex right up there at the front.
Once again, live tournament happening here.
Sorry. So I just start to try and memorize what the things do. And as I'm learning, there was a buddy of mine that I met through this. His name is Max. He was also learning. He had been playing for about 3 months before me. And he's a teacher for UWM.
Ooh.
And he's real young. He's like 30, right? And
Jesus.
so he's very, very, very smart.
Okay.
So he was kind of walking me through what he had learned so far. And then as I was going over things, I started just equating certain things to Magic terms or ways to help me familiarize myself. Because I was like, okay, this feels a lot like this thing in Magic. So I was like, I can make that similarity, and it just made things a little easier. And then I played in the first tournament we ever held that February. We had 15 people. I made 16, and I was like, okay, that makes it easy, and I'd love to play. And I won our first event.
Really?
Yep. And I was like, I've been playing this game for 3 weeks, and I was like, that was a really big confidence.
Nice.
And then another gentleman came in, and he introduced me to an army named Grey Knights.
Yeah.
They're a form of a Space Marine faction, but they do cool psychic power things and have some good hand-to-hand combat things. And this gentleman's name was Josh. It was his favorite army. He showed me all of his stuff when he would come in. He taught me what is now one of my favorite poker card games. It's called Po Soy Dos. It's Filipino poker.
Okay.
His family, he was from a military family, so he did a lot of traveling and living.
Yeah.
And he picked up that game when he was younger. And we play it all the time now.
Amazing.
And his army was still, they were still in their 8th edition rules.
Okay.
'Cause what they do when a new edition comes out is they reprint books.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he had Grey Knight's 8th edition, and then Grey Knight's 9th edition came out around June of 21,
Mm-hmm.
and he was so excited for it.
Okay.
And then about 4 weeks after they came out, he suddenly passed away from a pre-existing health condition.
Oh no.
So it's when I was deciding what army I wanted to play next, it resonated in me. I was like, you know what? Josh was super excited about this army. He'll never get to play it. I'm going to try and learn to play him. So that way it's like, in his honor kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's, I was reading the book. I played several test games. I was starting to like, I was really liking what they were, putting down.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool. So it's the competitive nature in me started to like really grind the game. And I went to a series of events. The first big tournament I ever went to was a 200-player tournament.
200
and
players.
it was 5 rounds over the course of 2 days, each round being 3 hours each. So it's like 9 hours day 1, 6 hours day 2, and I went 4-1
Wow.
in my first big tournament. I only had one loss, and my one loss was to the winner of the tournament.
Wow.
If I had beaten that man, I won that 200-player tournament, and I was like, "This is nuts." And I was
Wow,
like,
that's amazing.
that gentleman is actually here today. He lives in Madison.
Yeah.
And he is he's ranked in about the top 50 players, I believe, in America. And it's I'm very excited to have him be one of the people I get to just know and talk to, because he has introduced me to a lot of big names across the game and the community. So it's nice to have those kinds of people. So after that event, I was like, what's the next thing coming up I could go to? And somebody told me about what's called LVO, the Las Vegas Open. And I was like, in all of my years of traveling for Magic, Vegas was one of the places I never landed on. And I was like, you know what? What if I just YOLO fly to Vegas and play in this event? And it's the largest tournament of the year in the world. And the UK is the second most popular place where this game is played because it's made in the UK. So for this Vegas Open to be the largest event of the year, and I'm just gonna attempt it, I was very excited and very nervous.
Okay.
We ended up it was a 3-day event, 6 rounds, and then if you make top 8, you play top 8 day 3. So it was 3 rounds day 1, 3 rounds day 2. I went 4-1-1. So I won 4 times, I lost once, and I drew once.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
So the final round was the round I drew in.
Okay.
I needed to win to make top 8 for day 3.
Oh man.
And we tied 86
So close.
points to 86 points. And I was like, man.
Yeah.
And it's but I as upset as I wanted to be from, again, a competitive standpoint, I had to step away and realize this is phenomenal. I just took 32nd out of 1,200 people
Yeah.
in this game that I have been playing for now 10 months.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's great. And I'm going to condemn myself real quick by informing everyone that even though I appear to be intelligent because of how well I do, I am in fact an idiot.
Oh.
And the Sunday night, we leave Monday morning. Sunday night, I'm laying in the hotel bed, reading through my army's codex, and I'm looking at one of the character statistics, and I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't seem right. So I looked at my phone, where on the app you can build your army, and that's kind of like the go-to app for the game. I looked and I was like, no, it should be. And I was like, I thought my guys, each of my guys in a unit got 2 attacks each.
Okay.
They actually get 3 attacks each.
Oh.
So it turns out that the entire time I've been playing this army for the last 6 months, I have been giving myself a 33% handicap. To
You
my
were
opponent.
handicapping yourself.
handicapping
Amazing.
myself. And it was like, huh. And it's like, that's interesting. So then I started playing them the way I was supposed to play them. and then I ended up winning a 80-person event, and then I won another 40-person event, and now it's like the reason I grinded so hard was because I wanted to network.
Yeah.
Right? I know that I've seen it in a Magic perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Bad players can only network so well because who wants to network with somebody that's not good at the game that you're trying to be good at? But if you make a name for yourself in a positive manner,
Yeah.
then it's like, oh, okay, like, oh, we played in a tournament together. Oh, I heard about you, or literal anything, and I just wanted to be able to start putting out our name and our brand because I wanted to grow the tournament series. That was the inevitable goal. So it's like, okay, I am treating this like a job, and thankfully that job happened to be a really cool hobby.
Yeah.
So that's why, I was playing anywhere between 6 to 10 games a week, on top of still working. And again, each game, even if two buddies are just test playing, you're still looking at maybe an hour and a half a game. So it's like I'm putting in, between 10 to 16 hours a week into testing this game. So it's like those reps. That's really all you need to do, because the more familiar you are with what your things do, then no matter what game you go into, you're like, okay, he's going to tell me what his thing does. I'm going to be like, I'll assess that threat. And then when they tell you what their army does, what I do is like, that's like, if threat 1 is the lowest, threat 10 is the highest, I'm just kind of assigning numbers. And it's like, all right, I think if I kill those higher threat things first, I probably win the game.
Yeah.
So it's just putting in all of that time, and it paid off. And now we have people that have come from Indiana, Illinois, Minnesota, and I think Iowa.
Amazing.
And it's really cool, and we're excited for season 2.
That's awesome. That's really good. Like, one, the story is great. That's an amazing origin story for building up your rep in the Warhammer community. But like those tournaments that you handicapped yourself in, you probably would have won those.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep.
But at the same time, even with the handicap, you went like the distance. You rocketed it basically.
Yeah, I mean that's what we were aiming for, and it's really funny because now you're thinking, oh, he knew he was handicapping himself. He can't be any more stupid, right? Wrong. Because one of our now tournament regulars, his name's JP, and he is he's blind. And the other day I was talking to him, and we play the same army, and he was telling me about something, and I was like, man, I wish I could do this thing. And he's like, you can do that thing. I was like, how? And he's like, because of this rule. And it's a rule I knew, but I didn't realize that it mattered for this thing because I'm an idiot. So he was like, yeah, you could have been doing this the whole time too. And I was like, damn. But now, I mean, that's just that's how I play. I and a lot of my peers like to make the joke that because I'm from the South, I don't know how to read. So it's like, you know what? People are going to make the joke. I'm just going to stop reading, and I'm just going to let people tell me what things do.
Yeah.
So I have adopted that mannerism for quite some time. Anytime my friends want to play a new board game, I'm like, you read the rule book, you tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And the best part is, even though they like to give me shit, it highlights how much they also can't read. So we can play the same board game 5 times in a row, and every time we play that board game, it's a different game because we're still just learning the different rules.
Yeah, learning the different
rules. And I'm
rules.
like, see, rules are hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, yeah, and imagine just going through a codex, big dictionary of rules. Yeah. Yeah.
Thankfully, there's a lot of pictures.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, so that's an amazing story. I'm glad that we're here now and we got the doubles tournament happening live here.
Yep.
And everything. I guess for some final questions for you before we move on with more stream and stuff like that. Outside of just the Warhammer scene, like what are your other interests? What are the other things that like really like are your thing?
That are my thing?
Yeah.
Ooh. So it's.
What are you a big fan of?
It has changed throughout the years. But some things have always stuck around. Card gaming and video gaming have been in my life since I was a child, right?
Yeah.
I started playing like the Pokemon card game in '99. I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh in 2001. I played that until 2011. Then I started Magic in 11, and I still play that.
Yeah.
So it's like that's always been something in my life. And then gaming of all kinds. I used to be pretty much like an avid console gamer. And then around 2016, I got my first actual like gaming desktop. And then it introduced me to shitty games like League. And my life's been dog shit ever since.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's this past summer I actually just got into disc golf.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a lot more fun than I gave it credit for. I had started playing like regular golf back in 2015, and my former roommates are the ones that got me into it. And they're like, "Hey, you know how we used to like to go and play golf?" I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Hear me out, disc golf." And I was like, "What?" They're like, "It's easier, it's cheaper, and you can still get hammered, whatever you want to do." And I was like, I'm willing to try anything once.
Yeah.
And it ended up being a lot of fun. And now we have like our own backpacks just full of discs and all kinds of just random accessories.
Amazing.
And we'd go out and play all the time when it was nice out. But when it's colder, just kind of take time off.
Take a time off. Take a break.
yeah,
and we got plenty of other stuff you can fill our time with.
Yeah, but it's always been card games, video games, and then, high school and college, I did a variety of football, wrestling, and track stuff. So this just being a more different form of sport, but it's pretty low impact, and I just get to throw something really far, I'm about it.
Awesome. I guess final question before we head to a little break real quick. Me and Antonio were trying to figure it out, and we couldn't remember. But now, with all the Pokemon there are,
Yes.
is there a Pokemon with a 4-stage evolution, starting from baby,
Starting from baby and going to current.
going to... Is there one that goes fast?
Yes. The only way that would work is if you include the new types of evolution, such as Gigantamax or Terra.
Okay.
So let's just take the infamous or the famous Pikachu, right?
Yeah.
You have Pichu,
Yes.
Pikachu, Raichu,
Yeah.
but then Pikachu can do a Gigantamax form. It's not an evolution, but it's an in-battle evolution.
Yeah, that's
so it's
true.
temporary.
Temporary.
But to my knowledge, I don't think there is a 4-stage evolution. No.
Interesting. Interesting. I haven't done that yet.
The person that will know it right off the top of their head are two people that haven't been on here. It is Alex number 1 and Alex number 2.
Okay.
We all love Pokemon, but
Yeah.
both of them are hard-hitting nerds. So they're like, you can, one of the Alexes, when he comes on, he's got the longer ponytail.
Yeah.
You can be like, "Hey, what is the type of this Pokemon?" And he'll be like, X. And you'll be like, "Yep."
Yeah.
And then you can just quiz
Amazing.
him. We do that all the time, especially
Amazing.
with Magic cards. He's been playing for many years. He was a judge for top-level competitive events around the world.
Cool.
So I'll grab a card. I will look at the symbols in the corner. I'll read off the symbols, and I'll read off one other stat line. So, for instance, if anybody knows Magic, I'll be like, "It's a 2 and a green rare from X set," and he'll be like, "X," and I'm like, "Yep."
Gee.
And it's like, we'll just do that from just across.
If I had that memory.
Right? Yeah, it's one of his favorite
Like
games
yeah.
is Shiri Tori. If you know what that is, it's I say a word, lightning. All right, lightning ends in G. You now have to say a word that starts with G, and whoever repeats a word first loses.
Amazing. Yeah, I think I've heard of this game
Yep.
before.
So then you can just play Magic Shiritori. So I say the name of a magic card, Soul Ring. Now he has to say a magic card that starts with a G. So he would say like Grasp of Darkness. Now I have to say a word that starts with S. And when you're naming off cards, if you repeat the name of a card, or if let's say that you could try and bluff, I could say the name of a card, and you could be like, I'm gonna call bullshit, and then you can be like, all right, fine, yeah. It's like you'd look it up, but it's hard to pull one over like that. But there are some obscure cards that I have secretly looked up and memorized that I know will trip him up a lot.
Nice.
And there was one time I named a card and he's like, "What's it do?" And I was like, the best part, I had no idea what it did. I just looked up the names and I was like, I don't know. And he's like, bullshit. We looked up the name, and I was correct, and technically correct, which is the best kind. So he got deducted a point because he called BS and he was wrong. And I was like,
Amazing. Amazing.
right?
That's really good.
Yeah, I put a lot of effort into some things that don't matter but make me happy.
Nice, nice. Quinn, thank you so much for coming on here.
Yeah,
Congratulations
thank you.
on the grand opening of the store here. We got more interviews and stuff for the day. Keep around here, guys. We're gonna go on a quick little break here. And thank you for joining us here. Be right
Yeah,
back.
Thank you.